So
many steps. How do people do
you
this?
just need to congratulate yourselves each and every step, and yeah.
Make me cry.
Please don't.
You're gonna
Please
cry.
don't. No, I'm not.
Yes, you
No,
are.
I'm not. It's very dusty in here.
He's gonna cry. This is cute.
My allergies are playing up.
I mean, IVF just is so hard. So today we are working out, we had to work out what questions we're going to ask our doctor when we next go in for an appointment with her tomorrow, and we thought we may as well film it. And I was thinking that we should probably say that this is a list of questions that is for us and our particular situation. So it's not just like a standard list of what you should ask. It's specific to where we are at.
And we just wanted to brainstorm, but we just thought this is worthwhile.
Yeah.
How we're thinking, what we're thinking, where we're going, who we need to talk to, blah, 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 blah.
So we just came out of my seventh cycle, but my sixth actual egg retrieval.
Full completed one, yeah.
And it didn't go very well. We had the poorest results we've ever had in that we only got one egg, which was a bit of a shock.
It could be the one, though.
It could be the one. I mean, it's still good to have one egg. It's better than none, right? But we want to talk to our doctor.
Took us a little while to get there, though.
Well, I mean, we have
to accept that. But
we
yeah,
have
you've got to be
16
grateful.
in the freezer, so we're getting there. But our situation is very different in that we need 20 before we get to fertilize.
Well, that's just it's like a random number generator, but they say 20 is, well, you need even a little more probably as we get a little older as well. 20 to 30.
So the fact that we only got one is stressful for us. And if you've been following along with our journey, you can see all of that stuff in the other videos. So we'll just link them. And but we wanted to figure out some things we have to ask her. So first of all, you're getting your bloods done again.
Yes, I want my bloods done.
Okay, and
Now I'm going to say this purely because I've got in contact with my doctor, and I wasn't meant to be on the anastrozole or Arimidex for as long as I have been, so I've actually come off that, and I need to restart it 3 months before my surgery, which is looking like it's probably going to be May.
Yeah, we had to push our surgery back, and I think we need to let Lynn know that.
No, Lynn already knows.
How's she know?
My doctor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the first thing we want to...
They already talked anyway, but they already know that we've cancelled March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I want to say, like, we've pushed John's surgery back.
Yep.
I'm just taking notes as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Back because we didn't get enough eggs last time. And I think we want to start with being like, we have to do better. What are you going to do different next time?
I think we've talked about, because we've got some ideas around, like, yes, we've done pretty much everything, but in different combinations we haven't. So I guess from our point of view, we've talked about whether, well, our best approach would be to just see what the doctor's got to offer. Straight up, we'll ask the question, try and empty her out, and then we'll go, well, what if we try this?
Make them earn their money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incidentally, I posted our kind of story into 3 Facebook IVF groups to just see what the mostly women
Good
there
response.
would suggest.
Holy Moses.
It went nuts. Like, first of all, most people were like, how have you done so many cycles in such a short time? And I wanted to kind of go through this because there were some good suggestions in here, although unfortunately most of them we've already tried. But then the other thing we thought about was we need to get out of that mindset of, oh, we've already tried that and it didn't work. Because each time we had a different expectation of what working is. In the past, I expected to get 18 eggs, so getting 3 felt like a failure. This time I expected to get 3 eggs, and getting 1 felt like a failure. So it's all about your expectations, because other times we did protocols that got us 5 and 6, although we only got 3 mature, but it got us higher numbers, but we threw it out at the time because of where our expectation was. So if we change our expectation, then some of those things we've done before might actually be worth trying again. So one of the things that one of the women mentioned
Just right and jump in. It's very important that it's personal to yourself as well. That's what we've realised. Our expectations are ours. When you start comparing them to women who are getting 28 eggs and 30 eggs, you can sort of set yourself up. But like she said, one of our ones before, we haven't done that protocol again or that treatment, and it was actually our best out of all of them, but we went, oh, well, hang on.
Well, it produced the most number of follicles. A lot of them were empty, but in a way, I'd kind of rather have more follicles because at least it's a shot at getting some eggs. And it's so funny because expectation is the biggest thing. We've already talked about it so much. You just keep lowering, because in the end, that one egg that I produced this time, I might have really good quality eggs. We don't know because we don't get to fertilize anything. But potentially, if I have, say, 20 by the time we do your microtesi and then all 20 fertilize, well, I don't know about you, but I don't need to have 20 kids. 20?
Is it possible?
No, it's not. But I'm
not
just...
by you.
Oh. Oh.
That was my out loud head, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Out loud.
It's pretty unlikely that all of them are going to fertilise. It's normally you lose like 50% at each stage of the process. So we're more likely to get like 5. Still could be a high number and we might not use all the embryos. That would be ideal. But the potential downside is that we go in and we fertilise these 20 eggs and we get nothing. So the more we have, it's kind of an insurance policy.
Actually, even prior to that, if they go in and find no sperm, then we have to go down the donor route. Then we've got to look at the donor route. We've got plenty of eggs then.
Well, yeah, so it's all relative. And this is the thing that's so interesting with IVF, because it's like, okay, 20 eggs is a lot, but if there's no sperm, there's no
good to anyone.
Yeah, so it's like this whole thing, and it feels
it's
like...
Sort of stage by stage. So once we get through this part, we've got a pile of eggs and I can have my surgery, and then we find out whether there's sperm involved or going to be involved. Well, my sperm's going to be involved. And then it's basically the thawing out process. So we just
so many steps.
By step by step.
There's so many steps. How do people do this?
You just need to congratulate yourselves each and every step, and Please don't.
You're going to
cry.
cry.
Please don't. No, I'm not.
Yes, you
No,
are.
I'm not. It's very dusty in here.
He's gonna cry. This is
my allergies are playing up.
I mean, IVF just is so hard. It's like, I saw a meme once that was like, why go to Vegas when you can do IVF? Like, why bet on anything when you can bet on these freaking, which have like, I mean, what bet would you take that has like a statistical 40% chance of working? But that's not a good bet.
It's even,
That's the best, like that's IVF's kind of average success rate.
Well, they're saying the casino, the house is even better than that.
Depends on the age of the woman and all that stuff. But anyway, okay, so one of the things that was suggested, I'm going to go through a few of these. One lady suggested DHEA, which actually I have tried before.
Got some still from that time?
Yeah, we still have some. So I kind of thought, I wonder what it'd be like to do that again. So I don't want to ask her about, well, I kind of am going to ask her about that as one of the things we could do again.
Yep.
But it just made me feel so crap. It made my skin horrible. And if you're on it for a long time, you can grow facial hair.
First time?
No, after the first two didn't work. Then I got her to put me on it because I'd read about it, and it starts with the egg. And so, but then she said, actually, after I went in, it didn't really work because remember, it only produced like 3 eggs.
Yeah.
2 eggs maybe.
Yeah, you did the priming and the DH. No DH.
No, because after I did the DHEA, she said actually estrogen priming would be better to try. Yeah. So because DHEA only produced like a few follicles, but then we tried estrogen priming, and that was when I was like, we should actually try that again because we got about like 18 follicles, but we got 5 eggs and then 3 more mature.
Which is good for us.
Which is actually pretty good, but we threw it out because we went, obviously that doesn't work. But actually, right about now,
it works a heck of a lot
3
better
eggs
than
would
3
be better than
1.
1. So we're going to ask about, and I still have all the drugs. I'll just get them out of the cupboard. So that's,
We actually had to get another fridge because the fridge is full of drugs.
It's just a crack
had
house.
No place to
it's
put
a
it
crack house. There's needles everywhere. Anyway, so
and
that's...
IVF.
So, okay, so that's what she suggested, and then I said, I've already done that. She said that the supplements is all that they've sort of recommended in terms of getting quantity up, so I'm already doing all of that. And they all just say nice things. And then they asked, why don't we just freeze the sperm and then get the eggs rather than, she said, putting me through this torture. Because your body must need a break. Because I've done 6 cycles since April, so that's 6 cycles in like 9 months, which is not much time off at all. But then I said, because they
whilst working, by the way,
yes.
3 jobs.
I'm amazing.
Yes, you are.
I'm very tired. I feel quite sick a lot of the time, and I'd like to stop this. Well, I just want to move forward as well because this is getting boring.
Okay. Oh well, May.
Yeah, it's happening regardless, I think. Okay, so they suggested, freezing the sperm and then seeing how much. But because sperm is even more precious than eggs, the microtesy we can only do once.
Yeah.
And anything produced from that, the sperm might not freeze very well, and, we just don't want to waste them. So we want to have the eggs all ready there to make embryos. So that's why we're not doing that. And the lady said I had a similar treat. Yeah, this lady actually didn't make much sense. DHEA, yeah, blah, blah, blah. That's no good.
I think we mentioned too, the other thing is they find my sperm, it's actually not imperative that they swim or are they're motile, because they actually put them both together in the lab.
The other suggestion they said was get a second opinion on the microtesy, but technically we kind of have already done that. So
and basically the guy we're doing, he is the man.
Yeah, we pretty much have the best doctors in our city, and we've been to see quite a few, and we feel like we've got the best kind of diagnosis and the best kind of plan. So
and they look after us. They do.
So
They're
really nice.
Sympathetic with our position and our situation. And
we like them, but we want to work them, like make them earn their money, because actually because we're doing so many cycles, they make quite a lot of money from us. We pay some of it, but also Medicare pays some of it. So now this one, Sizin, I got a human growth hormone called Sizin. We could ask about that.
Yeah.
We could ask about that. I don't know what that is. I haven't heard of that before.
No.
And they say it improves quality, not quantity, but I had a huge cycle, 29 follicles and 18 eggs collected, 16 were good enough to...
Jeez.
Yeah, I know, right? And then this lady's like, first off, just wow. I've heard loads of good things about, human growth hormone. Definitely consult with another urologist.
NAD.
What's NAD? NAD, we'll ask about NAD. So I think I want to start off by asking the doctor what she thinks could be the next option, although she did say at our last thing, you've kind of tried everything. So potentially I just don't respond to IVF meds, and that's it. But
hang on. She responds to IVF meds just in a different way to some other women who...
And hopefully it means I'm making really top quality eggs, but we don't know because they can't tell us that yet. I would say, and this is a thing we do have to talk to her about, I feel that we triggered too early.
For you. That's just you.
Because we had the surgery on day 17, and I usually have it on day 21. Yeah. So I feel like I was 4 days too early, and I had 4 days at the end of the cycle where I wasn't monitored. Yeah. And I'm not okay with that anymore. I almost want daily monitoring as we get close, and if it falls over a weekend, we need to figure out a way for me to go and have...
There was an interesting thing too. She actually felt like she ovulated in the morning of the surgery.
Yes, I need to mention that as well. 4 days...
Had a painful thing, like, I don't know. You girls, I take my hat off to you guys, but girls.
So even when it falls over
I think by the time you sort of get to this stage, you know your body's well enough that you sort of feel something go on, and you're like, oh. And it was like a light bulb went off, and she just went, hey, I think my left side just...
It was so weird though, because it was...
Let one go.
It was literally... like 10 minutes after I took the Galutran though, so that is very unusual, that because a Galutran stops you ovulating. So, but I want to say that I felt like I was triggered too early, and that I need to be monitored more closely, because in some people's case, if you have one egg that's immature, then sure, you win some, you lose some. But when it's 50% of our eggs, like we had potentially 2, one of them was immature, one of them was abnormal. Why is that happening?
That is sort of the first time we heard that too. So that could be the scientist using a word that's a bit different, and potentially it was a different scientist speaking to us. So it's hard to actually get some consistent message sometimes, because you do have different scientists looking at your eggs. You do have different doctors that are doing the surgeries as well. So it's a good idea to be on top of making sure the language that's being used across each of your professionals, nurses, that you're not getting mixed messages.
So we're going to ask, okay, so just to recap this, we're going to ask...
Triggering, yeah.
All right, just for a minute. It's because I got to be clear. So we're doing bloods again, checking my thyroid again, push John's surgeries back, and then we ask her, we need to do better next cycle, what are we going to do differently?
Yeah.
And then some things that we're going to suggest to try is estrogen priming again.
Yeah.
Sison, NAD, and HGH. And then I want to talk about triggering and say that I felt like I was triggered too early, and also that I need more close monitoring, because if I was producing more eggs, then it wouldn't be a problem to lose one. But when you lose what's 50%, or depending how you look at it, we lost 66.6% of our potential eggs, then we have to monitor more closely. Mention that I feel like I ovulated, talk about the fact that the abnormal eggs and why is this happening now. I'm going to just check the other thread and see what the other ladies offered. So I think that's... Can you think of anything else?
I think we'll probably think of loads of things. Some stuff comes to us when we're just chatting. And
we do this every time, though. We create kind of a list, and it used to be that I kind of did it, but now we do it as a team to make sure we're both on the same page, because you get into the doctors and it's so like kind of bamboozling of being like... you're so overwhelmed. This all the time
as well.
And they're kind of, in a way, they're trying to answer your questions and get you out as quickly as possible. I never feel rushed by our doctor, but you go out and you go, oh, we should ask that. And then it's really hard to get an appointment again. And it's so important to just remember all the little things. Like for example, getting my thyroid checked is not hugely important.
That one would be a good one. Changing meds during a cycle.
Yeah, and I also wanted to ask about doing the natural killer cells biopsy.
Well, next time.
In the next one, and then I can do the
test,
the hysteroscopy on the future one. But so they're asking what protocols. They keep suggesting a different doctor.
That one with the monitoring. Just put. Is it possible to change the meds part of the way through if the monitoring is?
I know that Lynn does
daily.
Change the meds for other women. The challenge that I have is I'm already on pretty much the highest dose, so she can't actually put it up any higher. But I'll put a note here.
No, it's just I just saw it there with the...
It's a good suggestion, but I'm already on the highest. So this was the thing, I was really grateful for all these women offering advice, but at the same time I was like, tried that, and trying not to be like a pain in the ass, going like, I already tried that. And that's when I went, I wonder if we tried some of the things again, and maybe some things in combination will work better. So we had what we thought was our protocol.
There's only a couple of consistencies right across the board.
Not really, yeah.
Only a couple, because the majority of the time we've
tried something different every time. And maybe it's just nothing, sometimes it's just not even what you do. Sometimes it's just, okay, this month your body does this many, and this month it does this many. But we thought we had the protocol that we liked, which is the Alonva, Menopur, and Puragon combination. And because we got 4 eggs one cycle, which was the best that I'd done. 4 mature eggs, actually got 6 eggs, 5 eggs. But then the next cycle, which is one just gone, we had our worst mature egg rate. So I don't know if that's the right one for us anymore, but I feel like it is. But I wondered, what if we combined what we think is our best protocol with the estrogen priming, that could actually make things better. So it was just the idea of doing things we've done before, but doing them in combination. Yeah. So that...
just some tweaks. I guess we're at the stage where tweaking is any of our plans that we've made have all been adjusted or adapted throughout the cycles. Every single one of them.
Getting to the stage though where we've lowered our expectations so much, and we keep getting even less than that. And I'm just like, I can't do this for much longer. Like, I can't do any more cycles. It's going to start, I'm getting older, so the chances, I'm not in a danger zone yet because I'm still only 37. But, it's not just thinking about this child, it's thinking about future children. And it's also about making sure that you don't get too old either. And, we have to be smart about it. We can't just do egg retrievals for the next 3 years. And, gosh, I just think of the poor people who have unexplained infertility, and they just go on, and they don't have, in some ways, even less control, and they just have to keep going. And it's just, I don't know.
Well, some things are going to change for us anyway. Middle of the year, we're sort of going to be a little more informed. We're going to be moving to a stage. Either way.
We need to get into the next stage, because that stage is going to have its own unique challenges as well. And this stage, we're kind of done with this stage. I'm like, I just want to move forward now. And I think we've kind of decided, we've scheduled your procedure for May.
We haven't yet. Well, they've offered it.
We're holding off till we see
with our doctor.
But once we schedule that, I think we'll just stick with it. Do you think? It's pretty scary for me going in with less than 20 eggs, because everybody said 20 eggs is like the magic number. But that's kind of for one pregnancy. But it
And
gets...
like you said, you fertilise 20 of them, then
I could get 20 or I could get 0.
that's the way it's been.
And it's got to get to the point where
It's just been the way it's been, and that's okay.
Yeah. But we have to move forward now. Like, we're at the point where, like, you know what I mean? I could do 6 more cycles and only get 6 more eggs, or get 0 more eggs. And that's just... We kind of have to... It's like that thing you got to, like, take your chips off the table and just go, okay, this is our win for tonight. Just our 16 eggs we currently have, let's just take them because we just can't place any more bets.
Yeah.
We've got enough bets to place once we actually fertilise the eggs. Of course, it's always better to have more chips, but potentially if we keep betting on the table, we might end up...
chips.
You mean like casino chips or potato chips? He likes potato chips. We have to finish this video because our lunch is out there and we're pretty excited about going to
She's
eat.
made, it's always an experience.
Good food. Okay, so what else did they say? Okay, they keep suggesting that I need to take a break. It's really interesting, actually, and this is, I think, not the case for most women, but it seems to be... I just took 2 months off and then did a cycle, and then obviously had my worst cycle ever, and it seems to me that when I do them back to back, the egg retrieval kind of gets me back to a baseline that gets all my follicles kind of at the same size, which is what you want. You want them all to kind of grow evenly at the same size, and it also drains any cysts that I have. So actually, I find that when I do a back-to-back cycle, even though I feel just terrible.
Amazing.
You feel fine. I produce better. So I'm going with that theory. I'm going to see how this next one goes because this will be back-to-back. I'm starting again in a couple of days. So we'll see. And then, so yeah, everyone's so different, blah, blah, blah. You loads.
Same thing.
Ladies just suggesting different... Yeah, the antagonist flare down regulation. Yeah. Then the lady says to me they aren't using enough trigger, ask for HCG 10,000.
Already been there.
I have that every time. Yeah. Chinese medicines, vitamin supplements, acupuncture, all done.
She's had us all on that. Laura, not she. She's had us all sorted with the best, or the most valuable supplements.
Okay, hi Laura, you're amazing for all you've been here. I have everything crossed for you and your hubby. Yeah, I'm happy. I have a question if you don't mind. My husband also has 0 sperm with no... Okay, so she wants help. Actually, this lady, I helped a little bit. Okay, I'm no expert, but this doesn't sound right to me. Yeah. No advice, but big hugs. You're freaking amazing going through all that physically, emotionally, financially. People are so nice. It's such a good way to do it, to ask all these amazing women what they would ask.
They all came back. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, a lot of them say really nice. None of this is easy, and a crystal ball would be handy in these types of situations. Trust your intuition, and feel, and do. I can't read today. And do what feels right for you and your husband. Wishing you both all the best.
And just saying too, 20 eggs. That's just a ballpark figure. The stats sort of come to that to get you a pregnancy. Yeah, pending you have the sperm sort of thing, obviously going through the lab process and all that sort of thing, and obviously then putting them in and
Yeah, so most of this is about dosages and stuff.
It's that sort of thing. It looks half.
And then a lady asked me, because her husband's in the same situation, we provided her with some advice.
Yeah.
Things about, the surgeries on the testicles are so you got to be really careful, and I think some fertility doctors just kind of go in. Yeah, I mean that's what's made us feel really comfortable with our doctors. They're really taking it seriously. The microtesy is a really big procedure.
And I've got to say, my doc, cockiest bloke on the planet, which actually gives me so much comfort.
Well, the word is literally connected to the area that he works on.
Yeah, pardon the pun.
He's very cocky. Very cocky.
But awesome. Like,
all day
he just feels so comfortable.
He's just cocky. Okay.
Because it was suggested that we have some biopsies, and he says, don't let anyone touch that testicle.
Except me.
Oh. Except him.
Yeah. That was rude. Oh my god, I'm embarrassed now.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Okay. Actually, there's not much else in here, so to just go quickly recap kind of what we're going to talk about, and if you think of anything...
We're recapping again.
Yeah, if you think of anything that we need to ask. So first thing is John's blood's done again.
Yeah.
My thyroid, I'm going to do my thyroids tomorrow morning because I have to fast. Letting you know that we pushed John's surgery back saying that we need to have a better result than we just had on the recent cycle, and what does she suggest, and seeing what she comes up with. And then I want to ask about some things to try, which is doing the estrogen priming again with the Alonda protocol, Sizin, I think that's HGH, isn't it?
That's HGH, yeah.
And then NAD and HGH, I don't know. And then spreading doses through the day, see what she says to that. The thing is, she's going to have factored all these in because she's a really good doctor. But there's no harm in asking, right?
There's no harm in asking because we're not attacking her credibility and her ability to do her job. She's got 1,000 customers, whatever, hundreds of customers. So all we're doing is when we're in front of her for that period of time, we're making sure she's well aware of our situation, and we're just making sure we're getting the best.
It's advocating for yourself. Yeah. It's you're taking part in your own health journey, because no one's going to care about your health as much as you do, and no one's going to care about your children as much as you do, and even the best doctor in the world is never going to care as much as we do, because we're the ones going through it.
Yeah, and
I mean, anyone. This is the thing about any job. There's good hairdressers and there's poor hairdressers, and there's hairdressers that if you're really specific about what you want, they're more able to deliver it than if you just go in and say, you know, whatever. So. Yeah. Okay. So
we're being very mindful and purposeful about our outcome, and each step of the way we're endeavouring to measure what's happened and record and chat about and make some sort of little change, because it's just not good enough to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again.
That is the thing I appreciate about this doctor the most, because she does change things every time. But it's at the stage now where we've done 7 retrievals, we've changed things every time. Now we have to look at the data that we've got and look at what's our best shot of getting a better outcome.
Put the pieces together that seem to have worked.
And then go in with no expectations, because even when you do that, you still might get a curveball. So yeah, we'll keep you posted. We'll go into the appointment tomorrow and find out some of these questions.
We can call it whatever we want. Low eggs.
Low eggs. All right, I need to stop.
I love her very much. Look at what she's doing for me. Amazing.
For us.
Amazing.
I'm done with thinking about IVF for today, though. We'll think about it again tomorrow.
I'm thinking about the food.
Yeah, we're going to go eat lunch. So we'll let you know how we go with the doctors. Bye.
Bye.